would have tried. He would have grown up. Here's my thought. Hold on. Here's my thought. Anakin.
We're skipping around, but we're so bored with fucking Tatooine that now Rachel skipped an hour ahead in the movie.
Here's my thought. Shut up. Anakin would have grown up, right, to be a teenager, to be 20, right, still with his mother, and they're still slaves. And
hold on.
Hold on. And getting angrier and angrier to the point where he, like, trains himself after meeting a Jedi, right?
But he's got to meet a Jedi.
Yeah, this way, because just pretend like Qui-Gon didn't frickin' take him with. Like, let's just pretend like that never happened. But he meets Qui-Gon and helps him, and then they're on their way. Okay, cool. The Jedi Council doesn't let him take Anakin. Anakin stays home with his mother as a slave, grows up, gets angry, right? He's just holding on to all this rage from being enslaved and having all of these issues, and probably, like, stuff happens with his mom. I'm assuming that they're just, like, treated poorly. And trains himself to be a Jedi, as we were talking about. Because if you train enough, you can actually become a Jedi. And he apparently, according to them, he's the chosen one to balance out everything, so he can do that anyways. So he could train himself and become a Sith just because of all the rage he's holding on to and training to become a Jedi. That would be more interesting as well.
But it goes against all of the world building that's done in the movie.
In this movie, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, in this movie.
I'm just saying, like...
No.
I think he would have become a Sith Lord anyways.
A Sith Lord? That's my Mace Windu impression.
But I'm just saying, like, I think it would have happened anyways, even if they didn't take him and train him and all of that.
Well, he wouldn't have been an all-powerful, and he would have just been stuck on Tatooine. Like, he wouldn't have...
No, I think he would become all-powerful. No, because he's already connected to the Force. I think he would already have the power. He just has to train himself, and then he becomes, like...
But what's he gonna do? How's he gonna do that? With what, like a manual on how to become a Jedi? I wouldn't put it past these people to have a how to become a Jedi book coming out at some point.
I mean, okay, hold on.
We
watched Rey become a goddamn Jedi, and all she had to do was sit there and think about being with the Force. So I think, honestly, that's exactly what would happen with Anakin.
All right. Okay.
So there.
I'll give that to you. All right. There's another theory. There is another way that this movie, there's two things that you're trying to do with this trilogy. There's two main stories.
Yes.
One is you're trying to show how democracy could fall.
Mm-hmm.
And fascism can rise in a republic. And the second story that you're showing is how what we're told in A New Hope, a good man, a decent man, can be seduced by evil.
Right.
So those are the two stories that you're trying to tell. It's parallel, right? Because on one hand, it's supposed to be like a good democracy, a good society falling, and at the same time, a small story of an individual man falling. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, I don't think it does a very good job of either of that, but, no. We'll get into it, but, so...
No, I think they should have shown a little bit of that evilness in every level, like, and every stage of his development. And that he could choose between doing the right thing and doing the wrong thing, right? Doing the bad versus, like, the evil.
I somewhat disagree with you. And this is a macro point for this entire trilogy. I think it's more interesting to have him be a good person and to have somehow, and not necessarily have evil inside him, but to be literally seduced by evil and to become evil because of a reason.
But that's my point. He doesn't get that choice at every stage. We aren't being shown that he's choosing good until a certain point. There should be stuff given to him, right? All these seductive tactics, and he's not giving in. Well, he's doing good. I
guess that's what we're supposed to see.
And then all of a sudden, he's just like, it's like, wait, this is actually what I want to do. This is actually going to be helpful. This is what I want. And then he chooses the evil side and gives in. That is what I want to see.
Okay.
I want to see those choices.
And maybe that's what they were trying to do in the second and third one. I actually think, and I think we'll talk about this more in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. I would rather have the Republic fall and to have like the Sith and the Jedi's almost being like on the run.
Yeah.
And Anakin turning to the dark side at that point. Like turning on the Jedi.
Sure.
When they're on the run or something like that.
No, I like
and
that
then
too,
and then having Anakin hunt down the remaining Jedi. And like Obi-Wan and Yoda are the only two to get away or whatever.
Sure.
I don't know. But I agree with you. Like, I do want to see him have some sort of, yes, because...
Character development!
And I guess
character development!
Character development, yeah. And it goes back to the point of, like, these characters have no arcs.
You're right.
There's no arcs. And there's no arcs, and if you want to say, well, there's no arcs because it's a trilogy, that's not how you're supposed to write a story. If you have a story and you're spreading it over 3 parts like this, there should be an arc over the first part. There should be a pseudo arc.
There should be a piece that's being developed in
yes.
each. And then there's the overarching goal as well.
In my opinion. I mean, you don't have to do these rules, but if you're going to tell a
like
story for children, then you really should pay attention to the rules.
Because this is for children.
And George Lucas is extremely dedicated to the monolith and telling the story of the hero's journey in a very stringent way through the rules. So it's just so weird that the characters don't have arcs in this. So anyway, we're still on this planet and we haven't even gotten to the pod race yet. There's a scene in this that's basically it's not in the theatrical cut, where Anakin gets in a fight with this little lizard kid, which we find out is Greedo.
Okay, Greedo.
From the bar with Han. It's kid version of Greedo, and it's just another version of stupid fan service because like he fights with Anakin because he thinks that Anakin cheated. And it's like, oh my god. And somebody's like, oh, Greedo, if you keep this up, you might be in trouble. And it's just like, okay, thanks, George.
Yeah,
appreciate
it's
that.
a little too much.
And then Qui-Gon tells him he has to live with Greedo thinking he cheated. He has to live with that opinion because he can't change the opinion of thinking he cheated. So it's basically it's the message of the 2020 election. For more of that discussion and all our other episodes, subscribe and stay tuned. The main event of Shelf Life Season 1 is coming to you soon. It's going to be a 2-parter.